everyone. Happy Thursday, our favorite day of the week. Welcome, welcome. We have been seasonally blessed here with some nice weather for once, and spring is in the air. So, how many of you have been going to some spring concerts? I just had two of them this week. Kaylee has some photos that I took. You want to throw them up quick? So, say hi, jump in, make some comments. We always pick winners if you leave comments. Not if you leave comments, from the comments. So you see that little happy guy there in the middle with the purple shirt? That is Owen. He is 5. This is his first concert, and he was super thrilled and super excited that we came to see him. But then the last song, he said he was done doing hand motions and singing at the same time. He was done. He's like, I had enough, Mimi. That was it. All right, and then we have older brother Jace. So he's smack dab in the middle there playing the xylophone. And then there he is up close, all handsome. I think Daddy even put some foo-foo on. He smelled really good. So it was funny. So yeah, so we had two little concerts this week, and Jace's last concert in the elementary school and Owi's first one. So it's always, like a tricky situation when it comes to kids and when it comes to performing in front of other people. And you want to make that such a positive experience. So we tried to make it really fun, like we were dancing and happy and clapping. And I mean, we were. I mean, I'm not saying we try, to make it look like that, but we try to put a lot of emphasis on how much we enjoyed being entertained by them. So that's what I did on, I believe, Tuesday and Wednesday. I think they were back to back. Yeah. So hopefully you have some of those in your life, or maybe soon to come. But I try to get to some other things. All right. So ask some questions. We got a live today, and it's going to cover a whole bunch of different things going on here. I couldn't really put a title on it, but if you have any questions about anything, throw them in the chat and the girls will pull them out for you. So let's just do a quick couple of announcements about what's going on here at Primitive Gatherings, so then we can move on to the other stuff. Oh, the Unity winner. I'm going to put that over there for when I talk about Unity. All right. We have a rug hooking club March 9th. All of our clubs are from 9 to 4. They include lunch, and they are only $25. And then we also have our Bernina Social on March 10th. Featherweight Club on the same day. Sit and Stitch. Our next one will be March 11th. Cross Stitch Club, March 19th. I'm reading sideways. And then the Wool Club, March 26th. Stitchers Gathering, there is no meeting in March, but the next one is in April.
The next one's in May.
Oh, no meeting in April. Yep. The next one is May 19th. I'm like, what is that?
Well, they have their retreat and it's full already. So
all right, so you got that. So they're not meeting till May after this retreat that's coming up, and that retreat is full for them. And then Barb has a couple things going on. I know she has a cult class this weekend. That's all full. But then this one here, the educational event, we don't know. Barb is going to have some surgery, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. But for now, we're just not going to talk about it. And then we also have a really fun opportunity for you if you want to come and stay at the gathering and try it out. So you would come in at 9 o'clock. And you would stay overnight, and then you would leave after a full day of stitching at 3 o'clock that day. So it's only $200, and it comes with a souvenir tumbler and just a fun way to, get away, reward yourself for a little 2-day retreat. And then we have a works in progress retreat on April 7th through the 9th. So you would bring anything that you are working on, or maybe you're having trouble with, or maybe you threw it aside for a while and you want to get it back out and work on that. And then we also have coat classes May 5th, July 11th, and August 4th. And those are 2-day classes, and you can check into that going on. And then Jen Kingwell, we have gone through our wait list, and now we have just put a blog post out to the public. If you want to join Jen for any of her classes, those are they on the blog post that they can find them? Mm-hmm. Find them there in more detail. But then we also want to talk about Jen's trunk show. So this is a trunk show where anybody can come. It is from 11 to 3:30, and it is $35, and it's only $20 if you're attending her class already. But you're going to join for a day of fun, creativity, celebrating all things Jen. Enjoy some food, drinks, stunning quilts. Of course, fantastic company. I would just sit and listen to Jen talk all day long. That's all it would take for me. And you're going to meet her in person. You can ask her any of your questions, and you can immerse yourself and touch and just absorb all of her beautiful quilts. And just a little FYI, Jen does usually handwork. Like all of her quilts are hand pieced or hand applique. So it's really unique to look at some of those quilts. And then just to let you know, on March 1st through the 8th in 2026, we are going on a quilting cruise. Edita Sitar and Lisa Bongean will be your hosts, along with Roseanne Cook from Quilters Emporium. We're leaving out of Galveston, Texas, so that should be super fun as well for all of us that get to go. And you will contact Chris Mobley, and she will give you all of the information there. All right, so that's all I have for general announcements. And then if you had any, we do have a retreat coming up starting on Sunday. And we can, I believe we're full except for day students. And then I think we had a little cancellation, and we might have 2 beds open. So one of them, my butt might be in one of them. So we probably only have 1 left over, because I plan on hanging out with them a lot during that time. Okay. And then oh God, one of these again. The 4 S's, sit, sip, shop, and stay. There's only 1 spot available for that one, just so you know. Okay. So get in them if you want. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust my new hat. You like my new hat? Isn't it great? Out with the winter hats, in with the spring hats. And just to celebrate that we all in spring hats now, except Jess, she had her winter hat on today. You can get 20% off.
50.
Huh? 15? 15% off this hat today.
On our website only.
Only on the website, not on Common Sold.
And not on that Apparel one.
Yeah, not on that other site where you can click on and go order stuff and pick out your own. This one is on our regular website is it under Apparel or something? Do we have a hat? Yeah, type in hat, trucker hat, and it'll come up. All right. And I do believe it comes in 2 colors, like gray, comes with a dark gray back here with a darker bill, or the one with the white. So you have 2 options. You could do his and hers. Make your husband wear one too, or your friend, whatever that looks like. So you don't have to be matchy. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go down my list so I don't forget anything, because there's just so much to talk about today. All right. So our want to talk about the quilt box. They have all gone out. They people are getting them already, and there was a little question about one of them, and it was from Lori R. So I don't know if the girls got something ready for that.
Yep, and
it's in here too.
Put
yeah,
a copy in there for you.
I saw it in here. Yes. So it says, I have struggled with this before, but I'm wondering if a tutorial could be given on cutting length of fabric as the new Thrive quilt hat. So we have some cutting in there, length of fabric. I have struggled with this technique. Should one fold the fabric up to cut? Should it be done as you cut with the fabric, which would be difficult? Looking for suggestions, and thought if Thrive has us cut 95 inches length of fabric, it might be a good time to show us and ensure which technique is used. All right, so I don't know if I can quick talk about it if that helps a little bit, but hey, maybe I can use this as a little as a little tutorial. All right, so it says here's your Thrive pattern here. And the first thing it tells you to do is it tells you to take a snip of 95 inches. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have, if you're going to rip, you want to make sure, and I suggest ripping borders. And that's what essentially this 95 inches, it's your borders. All right. So what you want to do is make sure you have a ripped edge and not a cut edge on the first part. And then you want to measure 95 inches. And 95 is generous because our biggest border is only 90 inches. So those of you who have done this before could probably get by at 92 inches, 93 inches. But, 95 is a nice, big, fat, generous number there. So you are going to snip and rip. So you have a 95-inch piece like this, right? And then it says to cut your 2 borders, 2 tops and 2 bottoms. Now you can do that because you have plenty of room there. So what I would do then is I would put in the, so if this is my length of fabric, right? So salvages are up there. If this is my, so this is my length of fabric. This is not a good example because this would be my length. All right, so here, this will be better. I got a longer piece here. So we would wind off 95 inches. We'd take a snip, make sure that this is a rip here. So see, mine is not. So here, I can do this. So you want to grab me a scissors quick? Anybody? I don't think I have one here. All right, I might as well just do it a little bit so you can see how easy it is. This is flannel, but it doesn't matter, all right? And just FYI, because we're speaking about the backgrounds to Thrive, we did have a pre-order for those. The fabric, the itty bitty fabrics, are on its way. The pre-cuts have arrived, and what else? The pre-cuts and just the pre-cuts have arrived. We don't have our ROTs or our bolts yet, so as soon as those come, we will get those out to you, those of you who have pre-ordered that. And if you haven't pre-ordered it, there's still an opportunity. I'm sure we have extra fabric left over because we're just getting it. So you want to clean this off, and you don't want to just do a little 1/2-inch snip. You want to give yourself a good inch, 1.5 inches. And you want to clean this off because look at this. So that's how much fabric, that's how much this was off. So now we have a straight of grain here on our edge and on our width of fabric there. But now we're going to go length of fabric, and then you're going to go on this selvage here at 95 inches. You can do another snip and then another rip. Okay. Then you're going to take your width of fabric and you're going to cut 2 5.5s. So you could cut an 11 and 11 and just set those aside for your borders. And you have to remember when you tear, when you look at this, this is really nice. Like our fabric is really decent as far as ripping, and you don't get a lot of those little lines in there or anything. And granted, this is flannel, but I do rip a lot, and especially our background for Thrive is light. So you maybe want to give yourself maybe 1/4 inch bigger. So maybe you want to do 11 1/4, 11.5, and then rip those, and then just set those aside until you're done, or until we're done with the quilt, and then you'll be working on your borders. But I wouldn't cut them to the exact size yet. But then out of what's left over after you have taken off that, say, 22 inches for your borders, they want you to cut 3 4.5-inch strips. So you can cut like 4 3/4, snip, 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 rip, rip, rip. All right, and you would have your lengths there. And then you're going to subcut those lengths into those other sides. So what you're going to do is, because you have this long, you could cut them single, or you could fold them end to end and then cut them that way too. You can cut 4 layers, no problem. So that's usually what I do when I cut length of fabric. And it's just so we were using all of the fabric. And you don't want to, I don't like to piece borders. Does anybody, love piecing borders? I do not. I don't get any enjoyment out of that unless they're skinny. If they're skinny, I don't mind piecing them, but I'm not going to, if it's all possible, I'm not going to have a line in my border. And yeah, sometimes I've had mistakes and I've had to piece it and it works out just fine. You can barely tell, but if at all possible, I don't want to do it. I'd rather spend more money and have a little bit more fabric so I don't have to piece those. So Lori, if you're on today, I hope, does that answer your question, that you can fold those lengths, but most of the time you're ripping those. So you could, and then once you do have them ripped, like say you have 11 inches here, you would fold them, trim with your rotary cutter and ruler then. But yes, you're going to want to fold those in probably 4, so you have 4 layers at a time. And as long as your fabric is straight of grain, you won't have those little things, like you do sometimes when you cut like 2.5-inch strips. All right. So if that doesn't make any sense to you, we will do a video, but ripping fabric is pretty simple. Don't be afraid of it. It is, it's definitely nice for flat quilts. Okay. All right. Is there any questions on any of that you see that's right out there? And I just want to point out that if you got your quilt box, that the pink is the least used color in the quilt. So these are only small spatterings in here. So if you see these 2 pinks and like, oh my God, I'm making a pink quilt, you are not making a pink quilt. Yeah, so we started you off with easy peasy unit there. Super fun. And like I said, if you haven't ordered your background for Thrive, my itty bitties work awesome for this. Perfect. We have 2 of them that we picked out that we ordered mega yardages for. So if are we out of it on our website, or we still got some? The background. Yeah, so we do still have some available. And I just want to point out that I'm so happy that these came in, because I am snatching a few of these for my Unity lights. I am short on lights. I need lights. So I have taken 2 of those home for that. And I'm excited to now that I can keep going on that, because I didn't have any and I didn't want to dig through my collection of fabrics or tear any towers apart, or just pull like the lights out of some of my blue and white ones or red and white ones. All right. So quilt box is on its way to you, or you already got it. We have a video on our quilt box on hand quilting and all the supplies that are in your box. If you go to YouTube, do you have that little thumbnail, Kaylee? Or did you forget that one?
I didn't realize that I did a short thumbnail.
No.
So the video link for it is in our description.
Okay. So in the description here, there is a link on the YouTube to go to that YouTube video if you have the quilt box, or if you don't have the quilt box, maybe you want to see what you missed out on. Are you trying to forget it now or what? Okay. So Kayla's going to pull it up quickly. So let's see what it looks like. Maybe. I see it right there. So I thought maybe some of you might want to hand quilt your one of your projects that are in the quilt box, and we did a little tutorial on this right here. And I'm using my new thimble. Yeah, it's probably just because it's not that big of a file on as a thumbnail. All right. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Look for that if you're interested in that out there on YouTube, and just watch it lots of times. That helps. Okay, so next up I want to talk about right around the corner. It is already what is the date today? 27? Yeah. So not too many days left. March 1st is coming up, and we usually ship these out right away in March. So this is our April barn quilt, but it ships in March. So isn't my cute little Chicky cute with his daffodils and his pussy willows? on this really dusty purple background. So you can't really tell, but it is dusty purple. And then I just didn't have any purple, so I just put this kind of tan and taupey cream plaid on the back, and it looks really good with it. Gives it a purple hue, even though there was no purple in that. But this is our, and I got to point out, just so you know, that these two pieces right here were in my scrap bin and I used them. But we're having a hard time replicating this color right now because I think the dyes have changed. So your two pieces here for this egg will just be slightly different, but they are pretty. Okay. I don't know where that came from, but or how that happened or why we can't do that right now. But we tried many times to get those exact shades. It's a little different. And then the cute little basket quilt here for this. That turned out super fun. So I am having a blast there doing those. I didn't think they were going to be as fun as they are. And then just a little heads up, I don't know when we're going to release this, but it's going to be sooner than later. Probably when I get a couple more things done. I did a couple extra little things because, like I said, this is a big piece of wool in here, and I want to use up some of that thing. And I made maybe a couple little bowl fillers, but this will be one of those special things we have going on in the earliest part of March as possible. And then next up, I just want to give you a FYI that our next weekend quilt is going to post on the 14th. So we're pushing that back a week. I'm going to be going to the Nashville Needlework cross stitch event, and I don't want to push that fast. And we're still waiting for it to come back from California. I think there was a little mix up on something, so it's on its way back. It's done. We just got to get it quilted, and we're not going to rush because there's 4 weekends in a month. Okay, so just write that down, and it's a really pretty quilt. And I just want to remind you that anytime you shop on our website, whether the product is on sale or not, that we do have loyalty points attached to all of your purchases, and they accumulate up to $500, and we send you a $20 credit in your account that you can spend, or you can collect those and use them on one big project. But we just really want to show our appreciation for shopping at Primitive Gatherings. So I just want to remind you that we have those loyalty points. And then I know you're all going to be excited about this. Speaking of unity, our winner is Dawn Cornell, by the way. So she is the winner of week 6. And our backgrounds have come in. And Amy said by tomorrow they will be out the door shipped. Okay. And so listen very carefully. Follow these directions. If you did not order your background and you want one of the ones that we may have had, she said you can email. Do not call. If you call, we are not going to put you on the list. Okay? You have to email and say, I would be interested in the brown. I would be interested in the teal. I would be interested in the pink if there's any left over at the end once we get all of our orders satisfied. Okay? No phone calls. I don't want 50 phone calls down there. You'll push them over the edge. So just type out an email at store@primitivegatherings.us and say, awesome, I missed out on the teal. I'll put me on the wait list for the teal. Okay? That's all you need to do. And then if you want to be a little bit proactive, maybe put your phone number in there or whatever that looks like. Okay? Did you know that?
No.
Okay. That's Amy just told me. Because like she's done cutting a few and she's got just saying. Okay.
There were a couple of questions. What thread size do you use for big stitch hand quilting?
I know. I forgot to put that in, didn't we? And I think I was going to send you a text saying, hey, make sure you put in there that we use 12 weight hand quilting, 12 weight Baldani for big stitch hand quilting. Okay, 12 weight, the skinniest pearl cotton. It'd be hard to pull knots through with eights and fives. I mean, you could do it if you wanted to, but I think you don't want quite that chunky, but maybe you want chunky. But right now, we do big stitch with 12 weight pearl cotton. And then I knew we had a little question on the stitch group about what kind of needles are in your tubes. So I have to say, this is the first time I got this question. And I don't know why I got it, but maybe this person is really knowledgeable about needles. So what I thought I did was I eliminated the fact that you buy a 10 between needle and then you go, what do I use a 10 between for? Right? Do you know? I do. All betweens are quilting needles. So like applique needles, those are called straw needles or milliner's needles. There's a bullion knot needle, or I call it an embellishing needle, where the shaft is all cylindrical. What else is there? Chenille needles are chenille needles. So that's a chenille needle. So instead of writing that my binding needle is blah, 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 I just put that it's for binding. Can it be used for hand applique? Yep. Okay. So that's what they are. Our big stitch needle is I think it's a 5 between. So it is a hand quilting needle. My applique needles, the wool needles are chenille needles. The applique binding straw, those are straw needles. So just trust me. Just use it for what it says. Okay. All right. So just pan the quilt behind me quickly. This just got off the machine, and I think it turned out fabulous. It's showing a little bit light on my screen, and Kaylee does have it sideways to show most of the quilt. You don't see the other side there, but it turned out so good. That's a cheater panel. So all you did is cut those out of the printed fabric, and it made that beautiful, beautiful quilt. Super easy.
What line of fabric is that?
This is Prairie Gatherings, and it is flannel. So this is due out in August. So we are currently making all of these quilts right now. We're almost done, I think. All right, so it turned out super good. We're happy with that. Okay. All right. Onward, onward, onward. So Dawn is the winner. I'll put that back there. All right. So we are officially going to announce our 2025 quilt show for November, and it's going to be the Scrappy Quilt Show. We will do a blog post about that. This is our logo. Isn't it cute? All right. So when you see this, this is for that. So get your ideas. I would like the quilt to be made in the last 3 years or finished in the last 3 years. And we can tell. But, so try to follow those rules. We want you to use your scraps now. We want you to do that kind of stuff. All right. And then, like I said, itty bitty gatherings just came in. So the pre-cuts are here. Go out, if you're doing Unity and you're going to need some more lights, go on and snap up the charm pack here. This is the Fat Quarter Tower. It's very hard to see this. Once the bolts come in, though, we're going to do a little bit more on this so you can see all these. I would buy a bolt. We do so many quilt-alongs. We have so many times where you need 5, 6, 8 yards of fabric, and you got a discount on those when you bought those if you pre-ordered. Now they are off. Did they come off the website?
I believe they did.
Okay. All right. Maybe you can sneak one in yet. Who knows? Okay. Then let's just see once here. I had a question on something. I didn't get an answer for it. I texted somebody, but I have got a little news, a little secret. There's no official announcement yet, but Blockhead 6 is coming soon. Okay? It's going to be super fun. I'll let you know when I can announce when it's coming. But I think I might do mine red, white, and blue. It's going to be awesome. And then, hang on one second. I'll be back in a minute. Time out.
You're muted.
Okay, as you know, or have you been bothered by all my invites to this group? So we're doing a group on Facebook called Thread and Thrive, and it's about it's based on this book right here. This is a workbook of Vanessa's, and it's about a year of more. It has a whole bunch of stuff in it. It's well worth it. Trackers. It has exercises in it. It has all kinds of inspiration for you to keep going. And this is what we're going to follow in this group. And we're going to talk about this, and we're going to do a bunch of things. But if you got one of the thousands of emails that was sent out to invite you to my group, you are welcome to join us. However, you do have to purchase this from Vanessa. All right. And I think Kaylee has a link. And I think if you were in the group before we kicked you out, Lisa
Still
25.
It's Lisa 25.
Yeah.
It's still up.
As far as I know.
Yeah, it still
she didn't
works.
tell me it was
Yeah.
working.
So if you want to join, if you want to buy this and you put in the code Lisa25, all caps, you'll get 25% off the workbook. Okay. And Vanessa does have a group called Creative Makers and Shakers. So that is in here as well. So you can join that group with her. And then we're going to have a little side hustle group here with me and the people that are in the group. But this is a must. So we're going to give you the opportunity to purchase that before we kick you out. But Heidi is monitoring that, so there's nobody going to get in there without that. And we're just going to be a very good support group, share recipes, share ideas, how to get that protein in, how to, I don't really want to exercise today. How do we get over that hump? How maybe find some buddies, maybe plan some hikes around the area if you're local, things like that. Maybe find a buddy in your area if there's anybody in there that maybe you can do some things with. All right, so that is Thread and Thrive. Again, I apologize. We do not know why. It just automatically, it's an issue with Facebook in private groups where it just automatically sends invites to everybody who's one of my friends. Or followers. Okay? So no way around it. Heidi's got to go in there and delete all the people. Yes?
On the backgrounds for Unity,
yes.
They need to email store@Primitive Gatherings, not Jackson.
Right. Why would they do Jackson?
Because sometimes he does things, so they might just have that.
Okay.
List,
again, if you want a background for Unity or get on our wait list, store@primitivegatherings.us. Don't email Jackson. Don't email Jess. Don't email me. Do not call. Okay? Do not call. Do not email Heidi. Store. All right? That's the only place you're going to get the opportunity to get one of our original backgrounds that we picked.
Can I also say that if they have not been notified by the end of next week, they're not getting it. Like, we're not going to email every single person that says, no, I'm sorry.
Right, right. So if we don't call you, you didn't get it. All right. If we don't call you, email or whatever, saying to call us with your information or, you didn't get it. We're not going to call everybody who wanted one. We're just going to call the first people who sign up. We're going to go down the list. And when we run out, we run out. Okay. Less work for us. You understand. You get it. We don't have an unlimited army down there of people that can answer the phone and send out emails. We want to work more efficiently here and not drive our people crazy. All right. Then that's all I got on my list. That's pretty good. 40 minutes. Considering we have nothing to talk about today. There's always something to talk about, right? So please keep on posting all of your blocks, your unity half square triangles, and yes, 2 more weeks and we're going to be making blocks. I promise. And all of you, y'all want a little tip. Y'all want, what can I cut? I don't want to starch this whole 8-yard piece. I'm going to tell you right now, the quilt is 98 by 98 without borders. So yes, if you want to cut it into thirds, go ahead. All right, but if you want borders on this quilt, if you want bigger than 98 by 98, order extra fabric. And I believe, let me think, 98. If you put a 6-inch border on it, which would be what I would suggest, all right, you're going to end up with 110 inches, 110 by 110. Okay? She's so sassy, isn't she? She is. Did you say that on comments old or what? See? They're ratting you out. Hey, this is not nothing. Okay? This is.
We had a general topic and we're like,
right, because usually.
1 hour anyway.
Right. Usually I can, be like, I want something to focus on, all right, or for you to look forward to or whatever, right? And I was thinking about it last night. I'm thinking, well, so just put a generic one up. We're just going to talk about whatever comes up. And, usually lots of things come to mind or whatever. So we're doing good. Did anybody ask how my new box system is going? I'll tell you, there's a lot of box hauling. And sometimes I don't even bring them up to my room. I just kind of just leave them downstairs now. If I need it, then I go and grab it. But because it's like, that commercial about I pick things up and I put things down. That's all I do is I pick boxes up and I haul and I put them in my car and then I bring them up to my room and then it's like a cycle. I just bring them back and forth all the time. But we're getting better. All right. Any other things before this little cute guy? The Needlework Market in Nashville. This is I put this in there. They do a cookbook every year where you do a recipe and a little project. So this little 3-inch pin cushion is in there. So if you didn't pre-order your cookbook, we only ordered, I believe, like less than 40, I think, to sell. We have pre-orders already, but we ordered some, but they're going to go fast once you see how good they are. How's my star lady? Did you end up being able to stitch your stars on your rainbow? I want to know how that worked. You can tell me on Stitch or you can tell me here. I want to make sure that when we take the time to do things like that they are helpful. All right. Anything else before I close out for the day? No? Nothing? Okay. Awesome. All right. So the winners for what?
I was about to say, I just should say with this Thread and Thrive group, if they did purchase the workbook and they have not yet gotten into the group, the easiest way to get into because you can't find it unless you're in it. It's private. And so they can friend request me, Heidi at Primitive Gatherings, and then I will know who they are. Because a lot of times when you search a name, you get a whole list of them and I don't know which is you. So if you just friend request me, then that way I can add you to the group.
All right, because they take me out of the group all the time, so my admin doesn't send everybody emails, so they just totally remove me sometimes.
I kick you out.
So did they hear that? I don't have to repeat that. Okay. So you heard that. Just friend Heidi and here's the thing too. Vanessa doesn't always let me know instantaneously when you join the group.
Right.
So sometimes she'll send me, a couple of them at a time, or she'll wait till the end of the month. But if you've been in, or if you signed up, friend request Heidi, say, hey, I joined. We can always shoot an email over to Vanessa's person and see if you for sure are in. Okay, but I'm sure you're not going to fib about that.
And then if anybody wants information on the workbook and everything, I'm about to put a link in the comments where they can check out the program if they want to check it out.
So if you want a year of more,
the link that they see on the screen right now is in our video description.
It is.
Okay, so in the video descriptions as well. And I know a lot of people watch YouTube on TV, so I don't know if it's easy to go on there and click it. I think it's a different ballpark if they're
depends,
not
yeah.
on a device, but technology, right? Okay, so winners for today: Chris Bradshaw, Susie Q, that's cute, Deline Drew. You are our lucky winners today. Heidi will give you one of her awesome prizes. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you and all your comments on all of our social media feeds. Please like this. Please share this. Please share any of our stuff with any of your people and tell them about Primitive Gatherings, because that's the best thing you can do for us. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next. No, not next Thursday. That's the last thing I was going to tell you. We are going to switch to Tuesday next week, the 4th at 1 p.m. We'll put a little announcement. Kaylee will send you that too as well. So we'll see you next week on the 4th, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time here at Primitive Gatherings, where every stitch tells a story. Bye now.